Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So we're back in Lawnmower Simulator, just trying to continue on with the career mode. So you see it's Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. Alright, so I think we're gonna have Evie do this one, because there's some complexity involved and so forth. We'll have her... Let's see. Yeah, we'll have her do that, and then use the Toro. So she'll be set there, and I'm gonna go ahead and work this one. So it's a general cut. I don't, have anything with the width, but we do what we can. So sloping lawns at Ripley Park that surround the Victorian seating area known as Dutchman's Lookout need attention. Seating area has listed status, so any damage to it or the surrounding grounds will result in heavy fines. We've got to be between 5.5 and 6.5 centimeters. Alright, so we need to go around and try to pick things up. Hopefully I can get this done. This is a bigger area. We're getting really lucky right now, but we also have 6 objects. So, full disclosure, I've been having some control problems. I started doing this earlier, and, actually, what I started recording, I didn't find all the objects, which was the first time ever. But then I had massive control problems. Oh, look at that. We're quickly done, so that is really good. I was not able to get the mower to work. Obviously, if I can't get the mower to work again, you're not going to see this either. So basically, once I started, it just started to move. Alright, so... And so yeah, this is not good because I don't understand what is happening. Alright, so I'm hoping things are better. They seem to be. So we're gonna give it a go here. I was really struggling to the point, I think it took me like 20 minutes to get this first piece done, so we're gonna see what it looks like here. But even going up this hill, like, things were just not moving. But yeah, the like, everything's behaving differently. I did need to reset things to default, which obviously I'd prefer not to have to do, because I've obviously done things before, but in any event, we're here, and it at least is usable, where before it was very jerky, it was very tight on the wheel, and given how challenging this yard was going to be, I'm not sure where it would have gone. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably combine the 2 videos together, and I'll do the introduction that I had. Because when I came in here now, I was like, I don't know that this is working, and obviously it wasn't working to begin with. I had to reset everything. I mean, I guess it's good now to know that I can do that, but yeah, what I'm doing now where, like, I feel I can control it a little bit better. I mean, I know it's always a bit jerky, but I couldn't, like, straighten the thing out is what was going on. Like, it basically was, when I went back to center, it did not go to center on its own. I had to basically steer again, where here you can see it does eventually bring things back in. And this is how I remember playing this, but it was... I mean, it became virtually unplayable, because what I ended up doing was I ended up disconnecting and reconnecting my wheel while the game was on. And that just resulted in kind of what you saw, which was it just starts rolling off the trailer. Like basically the accelerator is stuck on, and then if I let the brake go, whoa, I know I'm going downhill is what was going down there, but when I let the brake go, it just went. But yeah, like doing what I'm doing here, couldn't do this. It was just like I couldn't go straight. You know, I couldn't cut a line to save my life. And I could not just hold the pedal down and do something. But yeah, I mean, 5%, this feels like magnificent. You know, and again, correcting like I did there, could not do that with what I had before. Now again, I was on a different mower, but this mower was still behaving in a way that, like I said, it stopped. You know, it would act as if the pedal was not on or was on permanently, and that made it unusable because I basically had to stand on the brake pedal, or I had a problem. So yeah, I mean, I might have the sensitivity a little higher because I did check my settings. So yeah, it's requiring me to do a little bit more to stay online because I upped the sensitivity from 50% to 100. So we'll see. You know, but again, if that I need to change in the future, that's different. But yeah, this is a much better experience. I really was like, I don't think I can finish this. I had gotten to like 20%, and then it was basically going to cancel. Well, it said if you quit and then you go forward, it basically cancels the contract. But I think because, you know, that was because I needed to have it stay that way. I would have had to go back where it had kicked me off this job, and then basically go forward and start, and then I think Evie would have just done hers and I wouldn't have done mine. And I don't know what that ultimately would have turned into. But yeah, coming up on 10%, like I said, we're doing this at 5 minutes and 42 seconds. I think we were, like I said, at very much at like 10 minutes or something. And I ended up like recording like 47 minutes, but really only getting like 20% in, and I'm at, you know, 10 minutes of recording. So there's definitely some pieces you're not going to see, but yeah, it's definitely a different. So this will be big too, to see how we go around here, because yeah, this is significantly simpler to what I recall. Very, very much what I'm used to. I mean, again, we're on an incline there, so it's a bit of a challenge for sure. But we're getting to the point where we're gonna probably start just kind of cutting straight across or something. Probably gonna, yep, we're already near the tree here, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll circle this one around as well. Whoops, I went too far out, so we probably will go around again. Because, yeah, you kind of want to set an angle and then just leave it that way. A little challenging to see. Alright, that was not bad. So, we'll go out and make a bit of a bigger circle here. And then I can continue on. But we're at basically 13% now, which is a good result. I'm gonna come over here and get this part done, because this was another one, like the way it was set, I was just afraid to even pull in here. And again, this is still challenging, but it's a completely different feel, so I know it's working significantly better. And especially as we see how this goes, yeah, there was no way I could go that fast around that turn. I barely crawled around, and I was still, like, anxious as all get out from what was happening. So, a bit of a challenge with how thin this is, all that, but yeah, we'll come back and get that later. No, I'm not sure, because I think I've, like, done pieces of 3 sections now. I think I've moved, not intentionally, to another area here. But we'll go ahead and start this and see where we end up. So if I recall, because it has been, as I mentioned, I think in the introduction, again, I'm confused, not because I just can't remember anything, but because since I'm mixing 2 things together, I may have not said it, but I think the last time I was in here was January, and this is now May. So I don't remember at all what my last job was specifically. I know I had worked in a park as well. I think I probably cut out the point, because I think that was as I was in here, and once we had started to see it load. Goodness. That I had basically said, oh yeah, I may have been here already, or it felt like I had done this one, like I had just done this park, but then as I looked around, I'm like, no, I'm not sure that I actually did. So, alright, so we'll go up here. But yeah, this feels better. But why I needed to reset to defaults, it's really intriguing that it had me do that. So now I'm a bit confused, because it was like, where did I... Wow, that was like choking right away. It is cutting. But yeah, when I was in a park last time, it basically took my, wow, this is really not working well. Why is this so long now suddenly? I'm not gaining any progress. So it almost makes it seem like I shouldn't be here. I don't understand. Oh, I see. I'm cutting the wrong grass. It tells me that. Alright, so where do I clean these grass clippings? This is get off and clean them. Alright, so we're not supposed to cut that. Are we supposed to cut this? Nope. Okay. Alright, so this was where I was at. Alright. So, a bit confusing, but yeah, so this is the same type of thing then. There are areas of the park that you're not cutting, you're just doing a portion of the park, which makes it a bit challenging, because then it's like, well, what am I working on, really? Because you don't know. Whoops. Yeah, I don't want to go barreling down here and then have a problem. So we're going to have that little bit there. Yeah, because you can see, like, we're making progress pretty quickly when we're cutting, so even though I was hitting that, like, it still let me cut, it just gave me that warning, so... But that means we're not doing pieces of the yard. Alright, so I had done all of that, but what I hadn't gotten to, and this is where I got kind of turned around, was... you know, where was I at here? But you can see now I'm good in that space, and it's not saying I shouldn't cut here. But we're at 20, so we'll see what we can do. Because like I said, I think I was at 22 or 23%, but I think I was done with, like, this section. I had already finished that and had just started trying to go over to another, and that was when I had basically tried to recalibrate my wheel, and it just blew everything up. So, hopefully that won't be the continued situation we have. So, let's see, we'll take this. Probably want to take one more bite at the... I was going to say bite at the apple, but we're at the grass, and apples and other growing things just get confusing, I think. Did I really have a row over there? Because now I'm trying to see... Whoops. I didn't move, so hopefully I didn't get too much. Alright, it's control. Well, it says control that I want to see things on. But I wonder if I have too much left. There we go. Alright. I'm like, why is it not showing it to me? So, it will go away at some point. It's interesting that it's staying on this long. Maybe it'll stay on the whole time. That would be interesting. Now, there we go. I'm not used to it staying on, so that's where I was a bit confused. Ah, I still missed a segment. Alright, so we've got 22, and then, yeah, I think I had gone around once or twice on some of the other pieces. Alright, but you can see the other side, like I'm not supposed to cut there. So, we're going to go this way now, and we'll see how everything comes together. Alright, and this is the other side. So yeah, I had gotten so frustrated in the last attempt where I was going that I basically said, you know what, rather than have you follow me along, I'm just going to mow, and then when I'm done I'll let you know, because it was so difficult to do anything that it made it just not enjoyable. Like I had made the comment in the video, like, if this was how the controls worked, I would have done very little of Lawn Mowing Simulator. Like, it was awful. But yeah, this is more manageable. Because, yeah, I was starting to think it was going to take me like 3 or 4 hours to finish at the rate I was going, but still may be long because this isn't a small job. But given that it was 3 stars compared to the 4 stars for the one I gave Evie, which is, again, partly why I gave it to Evie, I'm like, that's the perks of being the boss. Let her do hard jobs, and I'll take easier ones, and between the two of us, we'll grow the company, but she gets to work on harder things. Not totally fair, but it's okay. Alright. But yeah, I did like another hour of talking. Now my voice is probably gonna struggle to make it anywhere near the end of this. But yeah, I had not been to it in a long time, and so was just feeling like, alright, I want to make some more progress on this, because it's been a long time, and when I finally went and looked in Steam and saw it was January, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm long overdue. 4 months away, you know, makes people start to rightfully think that I'm just never coming back. And I try to avoid just walking away from something without letting you know, hey, I've decided I'm not enjoying this, or it's just not working the way I had expected, and, you know, I'm walking away. So, and obviously I had not done that with Lawn Mowing Simulator because that wasn't my intent. Alright. Bit of a challenge here. Just got a little long, a little fast. How do I get off track that much that I leave some? So yeah, this is just going to be confusing coming back. But anyway, let's see what we can do. Got a weird angle. I probably want to get more over here, because yeah, I can't see where I'm at with my positioning of my lawnmower, and that will obviously cause some problems since I don't want to miss pieces and have to redo a lot. But yeah, just glad it's working again. I mean, because I do enjoy the sim. I mean, it's definitely not the most exciting, and, you know, might not even be the most exciting to watch, but the purpose is pretty simple. I mean, just make lawns look beautiful, mow them up, and, you know, it shouldn't be that hard to do, and the experience I was having was just awful. And I'm like, really? Am I going to have to just stop doing this thing because I can't make it work? It just didn't make any sense to me. But that's what it was honestly starting to look like. So yeah, this is a big piece of grass here. Alright, and this is where I turned, and I need to kind of go straight. But I'm thinking we're going to be at least halfway by the time we finish this segment. It's just a matter of what else in this park is left that it wants me to do, because obviously it's not having me do everything, which is interesting, but I suppose that's probably designed that way to not make something be like a 4 or 5 hour job. Yeah, I'm just not sure if I'm going too far over or not. So yeah, this also has a smaller width than I would like. I don't understand why it changes to this view when I hit control, but it does. You know, and you can see there's pieces left here and there. this is, it's a lot. There's definitely a lot going on. I think I left some again. Trying to figure out if that's the only thing I have in the center is that one bed, but that doesn't seem right. I'm surprised it's getting so deep. Yeah, it's definitely struggling. Well, and obviously there's plenty of things in the lawn that we're going to have to work around. Yeah, it's almost like I'm deeper in the center, and the grass has increased in length. All right, so I'm going to start kind of going back this way. Alright, so we are leaving pieces. Yeah, you know, it's just going to take a little longer with this. Oh boy, yeah, we left a lot there. Some of that is just the reality of how things went. There we go, because we were going too fast, so I've got to kind of go over it again. But we'll try to get these center pieces, and then we'll go around. I damaged the ground. What? You're awful. Okay, how did that not cut? Well, now I'm just going in circles. So now it's just dumb. Alright, we got that. But yeah, it might have been kind of spinning on too tight of a turn, too fast. And then you do tear things up. I've got a landscaper that we use at our home here, and I was walking outside this morning, just taking a look around. Not necessarily at what he had done, but just enjoying being outside, because it's been raining for like a straight week here, it feels like. And I did see some patches where clearly his tires had spun and it had cut all the grass out, or ripped all the grass out with the tires. So I'm guessing that's kind of what I had done there. Yeah, these downhills are so fast. Yeah, I'm not quite sure the best way to do this area. So I'm slowing down intentionally here, because I think this is where I choked up the mower. So I think there's some thicker grass through this space. Oh, it's doing it again. Alright, let's go around here. Man, it is hard to see. And now we're going quick because it's downhill. So again, it wasn't intentional. But let me see if I can tell what I missed here. Alright. Alright, so I think I got most of the things here. Too far out again, I can tell. Just, it's always so challenging to figure out exactly what angle you want. You know, and the difficulty of like going back and forth is then I'm having to change that camera view regularly, which is not the most efficient thing in the world. But yeah, I'm hitting control again. Alright, let's try this. I think that's too high again. So let's see if we go down a bit, but get a little bit better. Man, I'm still not at 50%. It feels like I've been doing this forever. But yeah, this is almost the run I need, is just follow this line back and forth as long as I can. So I may start doing that. So we'll just head out that way, and then, oh, damage the ground. Unbelievable. But yeah, you can see the dirt behind me there. So definitely struggling with not creating problems. And it was drizzling a bit in the beginning, as I think you saw, so that doesn't help. Having wet grass and so forth, I don't know if it models that. I would imagine it would. But you can see there again is some tracks. And some of it I think is trying to start up on an uphill like that. Now we need to get over here, because now we're basically flipping from one side to the other, so we've got to have a nice clear view to have a shot at not doing anything too drastic. But let's go ahead and get this done. Oh, we're finally past 50%. Alright, yes, I intentionally kind of did that. Alright, and then we'll get to the other side. Just trying to get that little tuft of what was left. Yeah, I'm just concerned we're going to have a lot of work to do to get this one cleaned up and through. Although I suppose the benefit of the park side is, you know, we've got more wide open spaces than, say, the backyard. But yeah, now we're getting to points where we've got the flower beds, we're leaving things in place there. I think I left a bunch. Not good. Yep. So we've got that segment there. So let's see if I can kind of take that out and then join back up. So yes, it appears that is covered and gone. So we'll get through there, then we'll go around here. And then that will take us through that part. Boy, oh boy. So I think there was a little downhill there. because I wasn't really doing much with the accelerator, but it was obviously kind of getting stuck. Alright, let's go around this last segment here. Again, a big centerpiece, as you can see, not round, but lengthy. Alright, good news is there's at least a bit of space between most of the flowers and the edge there. Alright, let's hop on here. Maybe keep going in the same direction. I'm going to lower this down a bit so I can see what's coming a little bit more. Yeah, I'm wondering if this like rainish type thing is a bit of a test from the standpoint of it's just trying to see if it can add some dynamics of, you know, mowing when the grass is wet. It'll clump together more. There'll be those pieces. You can see there was obviously a segment there that got left. So let me cycle back around and get that taken care of. That should hopefully, yep, it is. All right. But we are getting through there. And I'm gonna cut through and connect those in a bit, but yeah, we'll see if we got past the halfway point, which I was hoping when I was over in this this segment that I'm working on. Just a matter of, you know, how far are we going to be able to get. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 70%, but should easily hit 60. So now we'll go across. I don't like the visibility I've got. It's kind of challenging, frankly, to see the grass or the lawn if we're going to be fancy about it. Alright, so we'll get through that and come through here. But yeah, already 61%. So come back through here. So we should be able to make that a bit bigger. Of course, we're going to get all the way through there. But it's just, if I have a longer stretch, it obviously will do everything faster. Looks like we got some here that we didn't collect appropriately. And we'll get kind of the triangle piece, and that will help take off, you know, kind of a broader angle. So come back up, come back up here. But yeah, when it starts getting this small, it just gets difficult. Whoop. That didn't help. So we're gonna, again, have stuff we're gonna have to cut there, I'm sure. Come on. Yeah, these are long jobs at this point. I mean, it was one thing, some of the starting cottages are, you know, you're done in 10 or 15 minutes. Gets you a good feel, but, you know, these are now, you know, we're at 42 minutes. We're only 63% done. And yes, we're obviously going slower now because we're doing a lot of turning where we're not cutting. It's not constant cut. I'm going to end up losing all kinds of money on this job. It's terrible. Alright. So, let's see. Just take a quick look, as long as I don't have huge pieces. I mean, I know I've got some here, but alright, we've got that whole section to do. How did I miss that? Probably because I was on the wrong side. Now I can't see it. Alright, I think it's this. Alright, so what have we got? Are there pieces? There's some pieces. So I'm like, there should be some hunks that I still have to do here. Alright, we're going to come the other way, because again, the angle I have, it's, of course, there we go, you damage the ground. Because I'm making that tight turn, and I'm going, you know, the back end's going downhill, and I'm basically spinning my wheels, is what I guarantee you is happening. Yeah, this is a challenge on the hill. So, it's slow going in the sim because you gotta earn a lot of money to get up there, but you know, it'd be nice to have some bigger equipment. But we have got so much work to do to get where we can do that. It's just a bit crazy. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't get a fine incurred again, but it's just so tempting to make that turn there and that cut. So let's get this one. Alright, so we're not quite at 66. I'm not really even on the gas is the scary thing. So it's just the weight of the equipment is doing it on its own, really. So it's like when you're not on any grass, it's there we go. Alright, we got that. But yeah, this is now just a lot of... And again, we're going over things. It won't show me anything. Alright, we're gonna go this way, and then try to go uphill. Again, back off. We did get to 66% finally. And then maybe, just maybe, oh boy. So there's still pieces down here. And of course, it's moving me again, which I don't want it to do. I want to know that we're cutting. I think I've got a piece past here still. Well, maybe not. Maybe we've got... Oh no, there's some, and then we've got that section that we've got to do, and then another triangle, rectangle, not a rectangle. I'm like, I got the wrong word in my head. I know I have the wrong word in my head. Alright. Come on. I don't understand. Like, I'm hitting the control key. But see, then it puts me back in the position, and I don't want that. Alright, so now we're gonna go over to this segment, and we'll keep going here. And now we'll have, you know, a good area of lawn again for a bit. So I would think we can get ourselves at least to 80% pretty quickly. I'm not sure if I'm going... Feels like I'm going downhill, but I'm not sure if that's what's happening. Alright, but this is the piece that's nearby. But yeah, so if we were going downhill the other way, then this should be uphill. And yes, I can definitely push the gas more. But we have that triangle in front of us that's also part of what we need to get done. So I'm sure that'll be 5 or 10% at least. But we'll get through. We'll go around and we'll see. What everything will look like. And again, struggling a bit to get a nice straight cut. Feel like I'm flying again. I am. I'm going 5.4, which is insane. Okay, I'm hoping to get that with a single pass, but then that's where I leave a little bit, so I need to err on the side of, hey, we're doing what we can. Alright. So, yeah, not much I can say. I mean, obviously just doing a segment of this, but I don't know if eventually we start doing all of it. Not that I want to. I'm not gonna say I do, because yeah, I'm tired. Like this is a little bit draining on the senses of just staying focused and doing, oh my god, doing what you need. So yeah, it doesn't take much, and we're going like 3 or 4 miles an hour here. So yeah, that is a downhill for sure. So unbelievable. So now we're getting to the point where I have to stop. I'm not cutting as consistently and all of that, so that just now it's going to take longer and longer to make progress on the lawn, of course. But coming up on 3/4. Okay, now we're turning, and then this is the apex, and then we start heading down. So there's a little bit of a hill here. Oh, I'm almost out of fuel. So I guess let's stop that, and we'll fill the fuel. What was it doing? Alright. Okay. So now we'll get back on. Alright. And turn the blade on and go. Because I'm like, yeah, I saw blinking red. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, we were getting pretty low. So yeah, I think next time around we'll go around that tree. But yeah. I'm not going to lie that I'm ready for this lawn to be done. But we've probably still got as much time as we've spent left. Which is crazy, because it does start taking a long time when you're having to trim everything. But my hope was we could get there without trimming. And I think I'm almost remembering that in the last yard, or the last park, we did. Because, I mean, there are vast expanses of lawn. So, we're definitely gonna get closer than I think we do in, like, the other yards that we struggle a bit more on. But yeah, let's just be careful here. And then again, we want to get close, but not... See, and now I'm, like, pressing harder because we're going uphill, and then we're going to transition into a downhill. So yeah, it gets really messy really fast. Alright, well, we'll definitely be 80%, which was my hope. I mean, I would love to get to 90% here, but I don't know that there's enough lawn here to do that. But obviously, we'll find out. Because we're just going to keep trimming away. Again, get here, sharp edge, back up and go. But the zero turn is nice. Well, it's not really a zero turn, I guess, but it's a quicker turn, that's for sure. Alright, 80%. So we have achieved it. And now it's just a matter of where do we get to. Let me take a look. I don't know why the control also... It's like I need a different key, because the control resets the camera too. So I probably should change my controls a bit. So let me look at that real quick. Yeah, there's nothing else. It's press and hold, but like it's not doing anything when I press and hold. As you can see, it's yeah, I don't know why sometimes it works and other times it does not, but it's not working. But I don't quite need it yet. I mean, I see where I'm at. I've got some ideas of what I have to get through. But yeah, it gets tempting to kind of... Ooh. I did not have grip, and then suddenly I just took off. You know, and again, part of this is I think it then... the slope gets less, and so that's where I did kind of choke it as I went up. But yeah, it's tempting to go just turn around and go back because it's a nice long path that I have there. So we've still got 2 trees to get around here. But yeah, 83%. Because it is a little bit easier to steer when you can go a little quicker, honestly. And this is uphill, but yeah, it goes so slow and then it like jumps. So it's just a bit odd there. Alright, we're gonna go around this one now. We're not doing a great job, so I'm probably gonna go around one more time. I need to just get a good circumference on here that I'm actually mowing around the tree. Alright, I think I got everything this time around. But we are getting to those small parts again where we're going to start segmenting off. We're going to just be doing a lot of reversing. So again, can we get to 90%? I would think so, but it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. And I am holding the control key, but it is not... Yeah, like why it does it now when it didn't do it before, I couldn't tell you. Yes, I know I left a few blades there, but I can't imagine that's going to be the make or break for the entire lawn, so... But yeah, now we're getting to the point where, you know, all I did was get like 0.2% doing a full pass because there's so many areas around the tree that we're not doing. So again, we just went up 0.3% there. Again, this is where I start to destroy the ground because I start circling again. So let's see, we're gonna go here, and then I'm probably just gonna come on back, and then we'll kind of meander a bit to get both sides, but then at least we're done with that portion. And we don't have to get on the other side of the tree anymore. So I don't want to go too fast, but a little wild, because there's definitely some quick movement down the hill. Alright, and I think I'm going to, again, just go ahead now, and we're going to get this circle done, just so that we can mark that off. Felt like I was getting too close. It didn't, I think, give me a penalty, but I'm also not sure that I didn't just run grass over. Alright, and then we can go through here. And it moved again. Alright, well, we got very quickly to 89. We went from 88.8 and suddenly I was at 89, but that some of that is, again, we're racing down the hillside. You know, and now we're going to have segments that are more difficult, so that's probably the last pass. Maybe I get one more through there that'll work. Looks like a little bit sitting there, so we'll cut that. We'll go across again. And again, we'll come down. We did hit 90 though, so that's a victory. And we've still got the triangle. So I'm sure we have 2 or 3% over there at least. Can probably make it around. Still do a decent pass there. But yeah, we're not even at 91. So it's not good. It is not good, that's for sure. See, and then it vanishes on you, which is even worse, so I don't know. Maybe it does it better when you have the strimmer, because obviously that you're just moving with. Okay, so we'll go there. We'll just start kind of reversing around, taking out pieces here and there. Alright, I think we still have a little bit left that we couldn't quite get, but like, yeah, now come on. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in the key settings that says it's going to reset itself when you do that. So it is just an odd behavior, and I don't know how to turn it off because there's no other key mapped, like center your view or your camera or something that I know of. You know, and again, I think it's if I don't hold, but see, I'm holding, and then it doesn't matter. Alright, well, let me go over there now, and like I said, we'll see if we can get... Yeah, this isn't going to be that much, actually. But I think we do have another segment along the edge somewhere. So I think there is another decent sized piece of lawn. But yeah, this is much smaller than I thought, so this is not going to be a lot at all. Which is not great, because obviously that's going to mean we've got a lot of lawn to still cut somewhere. But maybe we'll get to 95, but I'm not even sure we're going to get that far. And yes, there's some definite, there's a big hill here, so it's way angled down, a big incline down, obviously then a big incline up when we turn this way, so it all takes some time. 94, so we might actually make it to 95, which again is a welcome surprise, I suppose, because I was not expecting that in any way. But I mean, the good news is when you've got like grass, you know, and you're cutting it at 100, almost 100 centimeters in width, like, yes, it's going to take pieces pretty quickly. Yeah, we might just barely get to 95 the way this is going. Alright, so I may just kind of do this and back up and... Alright, we did hit 95. But yes, we've got one more swath. Oh boy. Alright, now where do we need to go? Because I think think we need to head over. Maybe not. I thought it was over there, but now I'm wondering. No. There wasn't. I know there was an area, though. So I am confused. Is it over there in front of me? I'm holding control, but obviously it's not doing anything. But yeah, I'm thinking it's... Come on. There we go. Alright. So that's what I thought. So it's this piece, and it's just... I don't know really how big this is, so we'll obviously take a look here. Oh boy. So now it's trying to get the view. Yeah, this is where I really am going to have difficulty. Just getting in and getting around. I mean, this is just bushes, so those should move out of the way, but the flowers are potential problems. Wow, this is difficult. Alright, and that is the length of it, so barely 1% through all that. So yeah, it does not help, because I think this is the last big piece, so we'll see what this all translates into, but I'm not holding my breath that we're going to get... I'm not even sure we're going to get to 98%, honestly. I mean, we'll see what everything translates to, but I think I'm going to go this way and we'll keep kind of cutting away from the pathway and see what we can get. But, you know, we went across, obviously, and we only got 0.7. And yes, we'll probably keep getting 0.7. Alright, turn around. Alright, well, maybe. It looks like we might get to 98. Yeah, we will. But 98.2. And again, smaller and smaller hunks now. So, will we get to 99? I'm not sure. It's going to be really close, I suppose. Missed a hunk there. Alright, 99.1. That's good. Let's see, we've got a piece there. It didn't take me up anywhere. But let me get a good view there, and then we'll pass through. Alright. This is again, I thought it was 99.5. But it's probably more than that we need. Somehow we still didn't get the last little bit here. Alright, so now so let me bring this back. We'll go get the strimmer, because otherwise, I think at this point we're just chasing stuff. So we'll get this on, but as you can see, I mean, we just did a little, 4 pieces of lawn here in this entire park, which is interesting because it does have you run around by the pavilion and everything else, but then it doesn't have, to pick everything up, but then it doesn't have you mow, so. Alright. So let's get over there. We're going to grab the trimmer. Now I'm trying to remember, how do I... Alright, because I don't remember, maybe it was... Alright, well, we're at 99.5 now. Alright. I don't understand. Use Q to raise the deck. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Alright, so let's get there. Alright, so we've got some of those spaces. And we obviously want to get in here. Alright, I'm thinking if I head over where I was by the edge, that's probably going to be my biggest bang for the buck, is this little edge here. Because I'm guessing we've got a lot going on this way. How am I not... Alright, well, I did much better than I thought here, I'll tell you that, so... So, yeah. cutting here is always more challenging. Then again, it could be like 99.95. No, it's 99.90, so yeah, we've got a long way to go. Let's just try to go all the way around. Like, we can clearly see there's stuff there. Alright, alright, we're doing a decent job that way. Alright. Oh, somehow I thought I had gotten all that. Obviously I had not. Alright, what have we got and where? Alright, we got that, but somehow this didn't cut when I went in here. Alright, so we got that. So, just cutting through there. Oop, I destroyed a flower. Certainly didn't mean to. Alright, lots up here. Which I knew would be the case, because there's just a lot of directions up there. Wow, wow, wow. Alright. I mean, I'm getting lots of pieces, but I don't know where exactly the biggest bang for the buck might be. Oh, God. I'm taking flowers out left and right. Not much there. And we got all this. We don't have this one. Again, we are at 99.8, so we've just got to get that last little bit. Still got some more there. Alright, I think we've got most of that. Alright, what have we got? We got this one over here still. So let's go all the way around. I am just not seeing it. Alright, now we've got a little bit over here. Alright. Alright, we've got some along the edge. So I guess we'll just... oh, there's definitely a bunch over here. Alright, so we've got some over here. And some by the light. There we go. Cutting complete. Leave the location. So, not terrible. I mean, it was way better than where I started, that's for sure. Alright, let's leave. Alright, so we lost $836 in penalties and fines, but we still made $977. What did Edie do? $553. She's called in sick and cannot work today. Well, wow. Not had that, and it's a rainy day. But let's go ahead and look at our equipment. So we're going to want to maintain and repair. We're going to want to do full repair, and full repair. And then go back. So wow, 42, 9, 2, 33. Recharge and recharge. All right, so we're all set there. We are now Thursday, April 15th. I swear we were on the 15th. We must have been on the 14th, because I know our funds are only like 5,000 pounds. Now we're up to 7,000. So we're getting there. You know, doing what we can, but we need like 40,000 pounds to get the really big mowers. And I think I looked in some cases, and I'm not sure I want to go all the way up, because I think there was some definite downsides with some of those. But as always, if you've enjoyed, you know, what you've seen, haven't dropped a like or subscribe, please consider that, and I will see you next time.